Demonic Angel. Today I'm going to talk about my New Year's resolution, which is probably something that nobody wants to hear me talk about, but you're on my channel, so here it is. This actually was a idea that I started thinking about a year ago, because one of the things for me is that if I think about an idea I'd like to incorporate in my life, I spend a period of time thinking about it or observing myself or in other people in relation to such idea. And about a year ago, I was revisiting the idea that with Buddhism, that gossip is not right speech, so it yields bad karma, and so in other words, it harms you. And the best way to stay grounded is, saying right speech, it's called. And I really thought about that, because I'm not addicted to my phone like a lot of people and such, and I really don't, I'm not a prolific gossip kind of person. I'm not overly tied to my appearance, any of those things, but we all do it, we all gossip. And I just thought, okay, well, what I want to do is kind of think about this for a while, and just over a period of months, just watching and not trying to change anything. And one of the things I noticed is that one of the most common things that I do to express myself or relieve stress, very minor, is swear. Now, I'm probably not going to fucking stop swearing anytime soon. I'm not going to do that one. So that's fine. I'm not going to swear around, in inappropriate situations, like around children or out in public, that kind of thing. But that's fine, because what I noticed is when I swear, it just kind of relieves my stress a little bit, helps me express myself, and I don't feel negatively. I don't find there is not a negative effect to that for me. But one of those other things we do when we're around people in person, most commonly, but you do it on the internet, and you start talking and you say something. Well, here's an example, would be like, I'm actually really good friends with this guy. We have a lot of different points of view in life. He's very radically like a liberal, and actually I'm not that way, but it doesn't I don't want to be friends with people who just think the same things that I do. So he's a very smart and caring and just a very deep individual, and that's that part of him that I really like. But one of the negative kind of parts about him is that he can very act immature and very just almost like a frantic, emotional. He'll work himself up like that, and he's lost jobs over it. And he was like a financial analyst, and I believe he recently got some other job, but that's besides the point. It's like, well, one of the things I was just thinking, okay, as I'm observing people he recently, in America, there was a person who, a young child that got killed by a dog because the dog slept on the infant and suffocated it. And he posted these kinds of memes about people talking, it's basically making fun of it, is the way I can describe it to you, because I'm a little bit autistic and I'm not going to be able to describe funny things that well. But this was meant to be this joke, and it's very, very distasteful. But he does things like this all the time, and just and he'll say things like, he actually doesn't know that I have more of a conservative viewpoint in social ways. So he'll say things like, if you are a Republican, you know, don't be friends with me. And that those people are dumb, that they are, they're dumb, they're evil, all these things. And it's just constant like that for him, until he kind of has his a couple of weeks of really being just that really nice person I was mentioning. So, but like, it's just, you know what it does? It makes him feel worse. It makes him crazier, and it doesn't do anything good for him. He doesn't get anything out of talking shit about people he doesn't agree with. Now, that's one example, but I've even looked at my own life. So of course, when I chat with my partner, we have some of the same friends, and essentially, actually, it's kind of weird, but there's this couple that is a little bit younger than us, but the gentleman is my partner's friend, and they ended up moving like to some other place, but when they live real close by us. The woman, okay, she definitely has something mentally wrong with her, but she she would basically like have these fits of mental illness, and then the gentleman would ask my partner, "Oh, does your partner do this to you? Does she have random outbursts and drive away in the middle of the night, or hit you, or these just crazy things that really I wouldn't consider normal or healthy?" And he's like, no, but he just listens. And the guy lost a lot of friends because this woman is really, really, as I mentioned, mentally ill, and she doesn't take medicine for it. And so she would say to me, my partner and I want what you guys have. But then, she's just crazy. So my partner, the point of my story is my partner and I will gossip about them. And I'll say, he told me that his wife is just, that they're losing money because she just won't spend, just days and days of Amazon packages, and she's just doing this, right? And then it's very easy for me to go, well, I'm older, and we're going to save money, and I'm going to school, and if she would just do some of that, her life would be better. But here she is bitching about all this stuff, and she just won't, and that kind of dialogue. So it's very stress relieving. That's one of the things, right? It's not really, it's something that you just kind of do over coffee, and you're just like, yeah, these people are doing this. Talk about it gets harder to do that when people, talk about, that you, like I said, that but you feel this immediate, for me, this observation, it's like my little vlog here, that you feel better when you gossip. But then you feel worse. You feel, there's something about it that, so my conclusion is Buddhism is right. There's something about it that is not good for you. It's not right speech. And what other people are doing is really none of my business, and these kinds of things. So a few months ago, it's not like this resolution I'm jumping onto today. I just thought, you know what, I'm going to see. And I stopped. When my partner would mention these people, which really he doesn't too much anymore, and he talk about them, I'd just say, yeah, gosh, I just wish the best for them. And something like that. And then I move on and I keep my mouth shut, which is it's a little bit hard, but I keep my mouth shut about something that would be gossip, and I don't do it. I don't get immediate gratification like from the stress relieving effects of gossip, but I'm not attached to that. And so one of the things that really the best thing that's come about it is actually I feel more attached to people, because gossip is what it is judgment. And even though people really are, I mean, they're all these things that we know. They're crazy, they do stupid shit, they almost elicit, like you're like, this person elicits me to gossip about them, really. It's something that I'm sure it's like a mechanism where it's like you're trying to repress some shitty way you feel about yourself by talking about other people, and you don't even have to know what's wrong with you or what you're, but don't take it in. When you gossip, you're taking it into yourself and you're making it personal. You're attaching it to you, and it's just draining your energy, and it just makes you less happy. I'm actually a lot happier that I don't, now I mean I still do gossip, but let's say I've probably narrowed that down to maybe a couple times a month, and I do it when I feel just low, maybe a little bit out of sorts, off guard, if you will. And maybe I've been thinking about some kind of personal heavy thing or something, and then that kind of, that comes along, that opportunity to gossip, and that's when I take it. But it doesn't make me feel any better. It really doesn't. And what makes me feel better is cutting a lot of this out of my life. But I thought I'd share, of course, you know me liking quotes. Alice Roosevelt, she was the daughter of President Roosevelt, and her famous quote is, "If you don't have anything nice to say, come sit next to me." And I just really, she's actually a very brilliant person who, did amazing things in her own right. And most of all, she had her own opinions. Back in the day, women weren't supposed to go be unattended without a man, and then she didn't give a shit what people thought. Also, she swore, so of course I automatically like her. But I think that really embodies the idea of something like what we think of as like gossip, is just, hey, if you're feeling, if you don't have nobody to talk to and you're down in the dumps, come sit by me and we'll just talk shit about people. And it's very, very tempting. I really never thought about that too much until I spent that period of time. Okay, when do people do it? When do I do it? And I've also noticed that my partner, my friend that I was mentioning earlier in the video, people like that, they do that when they're stressed. After a long day of work, whatever, after a mental health episode, then they don't feel any better. They just get fatigued and cranky. And then they kind of, in some way, they end up judging themselves compared to what they said. So let's say you say somebody, oh God, look at her, she's fat, and if she would just, but she's a glutton, so I can call her fat, and that's totally fine. There's just something about that then you kind of will catch yourself going, oh yeah, maybe I should lose a few pounds. But it's not a fucking coincidence. A couple days ago, if you look back in your little memory, you're talking shit about somebody that and even though you might not be a glutton like that, you're still, your judgment is coming from you. So the best way to help yourself to feel sharp and to feel just not attached to things that they really just aren't worth being attached to. Be attached to your friends, but don't spend your time and energy being attached to worrying about, I shouldn't say worry, but judging, because judging is the real problem with gossip. That judgmental overtone. The tarot card judgment just, this is judgment reversed, where it's a person who can't see anything is coming from within. So, you know, anyway, I just thought I'd share my New Year's resolution that I started actually last year, but I needed to kind of observe and figure out for myself. I'll talk to y'all later.